irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down from Kendrick Lamar. Let Lil Wayne down. And I don't really understand that. What help me out? What was that about?
That was my first time hearing it. But I think I think he just, I think he's a fan, like I'm a fan of his music. He's a
Sure.
fan of mine.
Yeah.
I think he
He's
meant,
definitely a fan of yours. Yeah.
yeah, so I think he just mean by he saw what everybody else he saw how much it meant to me. And I think that's all he mean is that, I
Okay.
don't think it, and when we speaking, obviously he can't control that. And,
Yeah.
so he didn't let me know. It ain't like he can control it or nothing. And also I've spoken to him and I wished him all the best and told him he
Did you?
better
Good.
kill it. Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right.
you better kill it. You gotta kill it.
Okay. Well, did he say anything to enlighten you about these lyrics about you? I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. I don't know exactly what that means. If he's sort of
No, no, he ain't. I don't think he knew he didn't have to do anything. There was no explanation that was needed for that. I think I understand. Again, that was my first time hearing it when you just said it, but
okay,
I understand those words.
Good afternoon, YouTube family. Today is February the 9th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. I want to thank all of you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to support my son and I. He and I, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, today is Super Bowl Sunday. Who are you voting for? Who do you want to win? Who are you choosing? We all know what comes with the Super Bowl. You have good commercials. Well, some of them are good, some of them are not. And then you also have the halftime show. Well, that's one thing I can say about the Super Bowls of past is that the halftime shows are notable. They always, if it's not the commercials, people always talk about the halftime show. And I can remember when the late Michael Jackson, the king of pop, did the first halftime show. And ever since then, it just seems to take off. And I remember that one, man. It was one of the best. But now in 2025, we must have this conversation. So the Super Bowl is taking place in the Big Easy, New Orleans. And we know what artists represent the Big Easy. That's right, family. I'm talking about Lil Wayne, the man, the GOAT. And I wonder why, in my mind's eye, why wouldn't whoever made the decisions to, because I know they have perhaps a board that chooses who's going to perform at the Super Bowl. But in my mind, I'm wondering who and what chose Kendrick Lamar over Lil Wayne. I don't have anything against Kendrick Lamar. I think he's very talented. He is one of the greats as well. But being I'm a little older, and I can remember when Wayne was 15 years old, 16 years old doing this. And he's been in at a long time, man. You got to get this man his flowers. And what none other way to give this man his flowers than to allow him to represent his hometown. There's nothing more grand than that. So I wonder what is it that prompted this selection. And in my mind, I wonder what it was really about. But to allude to what Skip Bayless was getting at, and we all know about old Skip. Skip gon' he gon' him and Lil Weezy tight, but he also he gonna stir that pot a little bit. But I have to agree with him in that what did what did Kendrick mean by what he said in his song? What did he mean by those lyrics? Now, in when Skip Bayless put this to Wayne, Wayne kind of just, that was his first time hearing about it, according to him, and he kind of just dismissed it. So, but we have to, we have to think about what was meant by that. Is it a little bit of shade being thrown? Because, family, you and I both know when it comes down to these entertainers, these rappers, listen, they take their art to the next level. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, like I remember Erykah Badu said in the interlude of one of her songs, she's an artist, and she get offended. She take her shit personal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't remember what Erykah Badu said exactly, but it was something to that effect. That, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to her music, she take her shit seriously. You know what I'm saying? She take it personal. So I would have to wonder what was meant by, those lyrics. And family, what we got to remember is this. The Super Bowl, if you think about it, it's a whole lot of people making money. Yeah, predominantly the NFL is predominantly, the players are predominantly, I would think, African American from the research I've done in the past. But at the end of it, who making the most money? Listen, the owners first off. They making tons of money because they getting paid from the tickets, the parking, the concession stands. Man, let me tell you, the concessions, because people love to drink and they love to eat. So the owners are the ones who are first and foremost making the most money. Then you have the players, and then you have the networks and what have you. Everybody get their little cut. And then, of course, the artists that perform, I'm pretty sure they getting a nice little paycheck. But what we got to always remember is this, family. As black folk, we got to stick together. See, when we start letting, I don't want to say white folks, because I don't believe that all white people are bad, just like all black people ain't good. But when we start looking at like the NFL, well, the owners are white. So it ain't got no black ownership, so we got to keep it a buck. So as black folk, we got to always remember that we have to stay grounded and focused in who we are as a people, because it's so easy to let, the interminglings of white folk put a divide between us. And this is what I mean by that. See, it's already bad enough that we have our egos, and we as black folk, we so emotional. And I'm gonna tell you, yeah, black folks are emotional people. All of us are. That's what I don't know if that's how we were created. I don't know if that's just the way that it is. But we as black folk we're very sensitive people, and we're loving people. However, we also have a history of getting bamboozled by white folks, especially when it pertains to money. So we have, as a people, we can't let, I get it. The Super Bowl, that's the world stage. Who wouldn't want to perform at that? If not for the money, just for the notoriety. But I also believe that, man, Lil Wayne, man, who better not to represent his city than him? Nothing against Kendrick Lamar. I think he's very talented, but I don't think, in my opinion, that if I had anything to say, I would have chose him. I wouldn't have. I would have chose Lil Wayne for the fact of the matter that he's from there. The people, they, man, let me tell you, New Orleans is it's a phenomenal place. The people there, is so much history, black history. And, the people down there, they stick together. They're tight. They're tight knit. So my thing is, would it not have served New Orleans better to have Lil Wayne performing versus Kendrick Lamar? So that's one thing we have to look at. And then this thing with these lyrics. See, I understand Lil Wayne kind of dismissed it, and he didn't really take it as being Kendrick Lamar throwing shade. But to me, it seems like he was throwing shade because Wayne been in the game a lot longer. This man done made money on top of money. He done made hits on top of hits. So I would think if I was a young rap in the game, I would have to show a little bit of respect and homage. I would have to. I would have to show some homage and a little bit of respect. And I don't know if there was any disrespect meant by the lyrics, but it just don't sound good. You know, it just sounds like a little shade being thrown. Now, I could be wrong because I don't know, first of all, who wrote the lyrics. Perhaps if Kendrick Lamar, write his own stuff, what was his thought process behind it? Because the way that Lil Wayne kind of explained it away was, he's looking at, well, did the fact that Kendrick perhaps worked so hard and this is what put him in this position to be selected to perform, maybe because of his hard work. So does that necessarily mean he throwing shade at Lil Wayne in that respect? No, it doesn't. But that's not to say that Lil Wayne haven't been working hard as well. So I would, on the surface of it, I would have to get a clear understanding as to why these lyrics was written and what was meant by it. I would have to hear it from the person that wrote them, and then from the person that spoke them. Then when I can hear their perspective, then I can say, oh, okay, well, I understand. Maybe there was no real harm meant by that. But as I said, family, the people that stand to make the most money is white folks, and we got to keep it above. Like my son said in his last video, when Soulja Boy said, how come we don't have our own stuff? That's the same thing I've been saying. How come we don't have our own Twitter and now known as X and we don't have other different channels and whatnot. I mean, not have the channels per se, but we are the driving force behind those channels. Why can't we own a freaking Channel 8 News or something like that? And I think we as people, we get so caught up with, well, you know what, I'm only, I can't save the world, so I'm only going to help those who I deem as deserving of the help. So I see it from that perspective, but I still say it ain't no reason why we don't have our own ish. Why we don't have when I say our own ish, our own credit unions, our own banks, our own brokerages. That's what I'm getting. Our own car lots, our own malls and whatnot. And I don't mean just a few of us. I mean in large, not necessarily in a huge mass, because all of us are not going to reach that kind of wealth. I understand that. But it's still no reason why we can't have our own. Hell, why is it that there's not a black NFL owner? Why we don't have a African American of somebody of color that has a team in the NFL? Out of all 32 teams, you mean to tell me we can't get one out the most rich of us? We can't put no money together to come up with the asking price for a team? But I tell you what it is, family. You know why we don't have no black NFL owners? Because they don't want no blacks up there. Not like that, not owning no teams. That's just my opinion. Now, they do have a lot of African Americans that work in the top offices and whatnot, and they're doing well. So I'm not saying they don't see the value in perhaps having, African Americans that are knowledgeable, that are go-getters in these positions. But as far as like ownership, I don't know if they're quite ready for that. And to be honest with you, I don't know if black folks quite ready for that either. So when we start looking at all of this, we have to look at it from a big picture, family. We got to look at it from a more grander scheme. Because I still say that even in today's time, we have to look at it how it was back in the slavery days, how you had the field in and you had the house in, right? You had the field ninja, and now you had the house ninja. And best believe that Massa was always plotting and pitting the house ninja against the field ninja, and vice versa. So if you don't think that still goes on in 2025, you are delusional. And if you don't think that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, that white folks don't stir up these little beefs like the beef that happened between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, don't. Yeah, I get ego plays a part in it, and I get black folks, we emotional, we some of us are egotistical. I get that part of it too. But don't think that these white folks ain't in the background stirring the pot, because if they keep the ish going, they stand to make more money. And yeah, to be honest with you, I guess it's true what they say. When these guys get all emotional and wrapped up in their feelings about, what one artist said about him or whatnot, they come out with some of their best stuff. So I guess in that mode of thinking, you want to keep shit going. Because if you keep shit going, I guess that negative energy stirs up the most creativity. So, family, there's a lot of moving parts to this, but in my opinion, I just feel like the powers that be did not want Lil Wayne for whatever the reason. And there's a reason behind it. And I guarantee you, whatever the reason is, it's probably petty as hell. It's probably petty. And I can understand why this brother is visibly upset. I mean, I would be upset too. I'm like, man, shit, I put on for my city. I done this. I'm pretty sure Lil Wayne, he does stuff in his community, So do I not deserve it? Do I not deserve it? Do I not deserve a little bit of love? I mean, y'all, it's right here. It ain't like, I'm asking to go perform, at the Super Bowl if it was in, Miami or New York or any other place. It's in my hometown. It's in my city. So why not let me represent? But what say you, family? What do you think the reason is? I love to hear your thoughts. And family, hope you enjoy the Super Bowl. And always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.